welcome to the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. Cassandra Terry, the mindset coach and founder of Manifesting Miracle Makers, rounded up her LinkedIn family once again. First, we've got Brian Smart, Mr. Content and Dadpreneur. He's striking the perfect balance between raising his youngest daughter and creating masterful content. Next, meet Denise Annalise Spiller, the gig expert and relentless traveler and writer. She turns every gig into an adventure. Then there's Jay Pasquale, a storytelling strategist, a poet and voiceover artist. He's weaving tales that'll make you think, laugh, and maybe even change your perspective. Get ready for a show filled with wisdom, inspiration, and the magic of family. Let's welcome Cassandra Terry and the rest of the fam.
Hello. Welcome everybody to the Thursday edition of the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. It is Thankful Thursday. It's the day that I love the most because it is the day where we really get an opportunity to look at a tool, a way of life, a mindset. We get to look at something that can instantaneously change our perspective, instantaneously make our day better, readjust our focus, give us a different way of evaluating or looking at our lives or a situation. And that thing is gratitude. Gratitude is so powerful. You cannot be grateful and angry at the same time. You can't be grateful and angry at the same time. Grateful and upset, grateful, and it kind of neutralizes all of those negative emotions, all of those difficult emotions. It doesn't necessarily change the circumstances, but it does give us the opportunity to adjust and reset so that we can experience those things so much better. So I am super grateful for each and every one of you. I am grateful for my family. I'm grateful for the fam that's with me today. I'm grateful for Denise and praying for safe travels and that she gets retucked in and she's nice and warm in Grenada with her old spoiled self now. The US was just too cold for her, even though she was in California. That's just spoiledness at its best. So I think she's back in her tropical space, and hopefully she is getting over the jet lag and settling in and able to get back to work and impacting that community and getting back to doing the stuff that she loves. So Denise, we are thinking about you. We are grateful for you and can't wait to start seeing the pictures and hearing how things are going. Now you're back to your island life that you starting to love more than us. But we're not jealous. We're not jealous at all. We're not mad. Not at all, right, Jay? So that's what gratitude does for you guys. Just when you start to think about what you're grateful for, just when you start to say the words, immediately your mood shifts. It gets lighter. You feel better. You adjust how you're walking, how you're talking. The smile on your face may come. Your eyes may light up a little bit because it actually takes you into that space and allows you to re-feel, re-enjoy whatever it is that you're thinking about. And you know when it's most potent, most helpful is when you're not happy with somebody, right? When you're not happy with somebody or something that's a regular part of your day. Maybe you're mad at somebody on the job, or it's Thursday. By Wednesdays, I'm starting to be a little tired. By Thursday, it's like, okay, tired. I'm just trying to get to Friday so I can get to Saturday and I can recharge my battery a little bit. It's kind of a ongoing kind of how my weeks unfold energy wise, but I can start to, when you're tired, you start to be a little bit more gruff. You have a little bit less of a sense of humor. Things that get to you a little bit easier. So, but you can adjust all of that with gratitude. Instead of thinking about, oh, I can't believe it's only Thursday. I got to go to work today. One more day. Da 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 da. I can realize that I have the opportunity that many people would love to have to go to a job that sustains my lifestyle, that gives me enough flexibility that I can be here right now, that allowed me for my children's entire life to show up for everything that they did. I never had to miss an event because of work. There were times where I was at their basketball games and I may have to have my headphones in and take care of a crisis when I worked in operations and we were 24/7 supporting our customer base. I did it, but I also was there, right? And I could get the call going, get the people in, and then I could tune out and tune back into what my family had going on. I'm grateful for that. My baby will be 21 in December, and he never had to go to daycare because I worked from home for 10 years and I figured out how to be his mom and how to be an employee, at the same time. And my job was flexible with my schedule. They just cared about me getting the job done. And I did a better job because I did have my child with me in a safe environment where I could keep my eyes on him and know all was well until he was able to go to school and tell me if something was going on. That was important to me. And so I can, even when I'm having a bad day, at work, because they're going to come. I'm still human, right? Somebody's going to get on my nerves. There's going to be a deadline that's full of pressure. There's going to be something that gets me going in the wrong direction. And I can stop and focus for a moment on what this job has allowed me to do. It sent me to India. It sent me to Singapore. It's introduced me to the world and people all around the world. I'm so different in how I think about things and my language because I really have grown up in a multicultural environment. And there are things that some people may say and not think anything about it that may be like nails across a chalkboard for me because I'm thinking about, is it offensive to this person, this group of people, someone who's dealing with this situation? I think like that because I'm so accustomed to being in a multicultural environment. So I know that it's not always just about me and the way I think and the things that I see, right? Because the world is so much bigger. And when you get a chance to expand and experience other cultures, that's really something to be grateful for. It changes you. It changes your thinking, and it doesn't make your values shift, but it does make you really think about how you show up in the world, right? It makes you realize that there's things going on in the world beyond your little piece of it. And those things may affect you and they matter. And so I'm grateful for that. And so I could just go on and on and on. The more I think about one thing that I'm grateful for in that space, the more other things start to come up. And before you know it, the thing that was causing me so much angst, what I was so stressed out about, has melted away to a certain extent. Now I'm reset. My mind is not focused on something negative, which allows me to be creative, innovative, get back in the space I need to be in to solve whatever problem was bothering me in the first place. Do I need to have a conversation with somebody because they keep crossing a boundary or triggering me in some way? I'm in a much better space to have that conversation than when I'm all triggered and upset, right? Are the demands on the job taking so much away from family that I can't function? I can have that conversation in a professional way, in a kind way, and be much more likely to get what I want. I'm here every day at 7:15 in the morning. There's a meeting twice a week that goes on at 7. I don't do that meeting anymore. In the beginning, I did. And I stopped doing this. I started shooting out recordings, but I had just changed and moved into the new role, right? And so I knew it was going to be a time where I was drinking from a fire hose, trying to take in all the information, trying to plan on how we needed to show up in that space. And before I knew it, I had stopped doing my morning walking. I had stopped doing my morning lives, and I was in a bad mood. I was tired. I was stressed, and I didn't have any of my release valves in place. This ignites me. This gets my day going. Getting up and walking gives me energy, gets those endorphins going. I had let go of all of those things. And I had a conversation with my manager. And I said, hey, I can't be available before 8 a.m. because if I am, I'm not going to do the things that I need to do to show up on the job as the best version of myself and do the things that you need me to do. We literally had an adult conversation. And he said, I understand. And he doesn't schedule meetings with me before 8 a.m. Every blue moon, there's an emergency that comes up, or there's a meeting where we've got to get a whole bunch of people together from around the world, and time zone matters, right? The people in India, it's about 8 p.m. for them. So sometimes every blue moon it happens. But I've got my crew, they can cover that odd day instead of that now being my norm. And I rarely be able to show up for this. So I'm grateful that I can have a conversation and that things can be adjusted so that I can show up in all the spaces of my life as my whole self. So you have to ask yourself, are you having those conversations? And trust me, everybody is not going to have the same conversation with you. All the jobs are different, the environments are different. So I'm not saying that particular thing would be the outcome for everybody. But without the conversation, you don't know what the outcome would be, right? He could have said, I expect you to be there at 7 a.m. twice a week. And then I would have had to adjust my schedule, right? That could have been the outcome. I didn't know what it was going to be until I had the conversation. But wherever your frustration is, wherever you're being triggered, wherever you feel like things are not right, are you in a position enough that you can have the conversation about it, right? Are you harboring anger for somebody for something that happened whenever it happened and y'all never had the conversation and worked through it? The way you can easily answer that question for yourself is the next time they make you angry, are you just angry about what's happening in this moment, or is all this historical stuff coming up too? The answer doesn't matter. The answer is just data. So don't beat yourself up regardless. But you can take a look at that and go, you know what? Brian really made me mad. And I remember when, and I go back 6 months of things that Brian has done to make me mad. And I can see that now I've got a bunch of unforgiveness. I've got some conversations that need to be had. And the starting with great gratitude can help me prepare for that conversation. I'm grateful that this guy shows up for me every day, unpaid, on time, sharing his knowledge in this space. He doesn't have to. I'm grateful that I can pick up the phone and say, I'm trying to figure out how to get this thing done, how it's supposed to look, and he's going to put his marketing hat on and he's going to help me work through it. And so I can start with gratitude before I have the conversation about what I'm upset about, balance myself out. And now I can have a decent conversation with him about whatever the other side of that coin is, whatever keeps making us butt heads, right? We all can do that. Gratitude will help you mature. It'll help you have mature professional conversations because it can help soothe the emotions, settle you in, settle you down so that you can. I think we had a quote earlier this week. The main thing is to keep the main thing the main thing. And sometimes we have a hard time doing that because we've got all this other stuff underneath the main thing that's never been dealt with. So the main thing, if I'm upset with Brian, would be the conversation that we need to have about what upset me in the first place. So I recenter myself so I can have a good conversation with a good friend and not ruin a relationship in a moment of anger. But if there's all this stuff under there that's never been dealt with, it's really hard to keep the main thing the main thing. I may have to go back and reassess how I showed up in all those other spaces. Have we had that conversation? Hey, Brian, I really need to have a conversation with you. It's probably going to knock you off your seat because I need to talk about some stuff that happened way back when, but I need to work through it with you so that it doesn't stand between us and keep our relationship from growing. Can we have conversations like that? Gratitude will help you show up that way and have that conversation. You're angry at your spouse. They made you mad before you went to bed. You woke up mad, and now your whole day is starting off on the wrong foot. Before you leap in full of emotions and get them together and tell them all about themselves, think about why you married them in the first place. Think about what you're grateful for in that relationship. Settle in, reset, and then you're ready to have a conversation. Let me share our quote for today with you. I've already got it flashed up there. Every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. We need only to be awake, alive in the present moment. And that's by Thich Nhat Hanh. So I really like that quote because it reminds me of what I say all the time about, bit by bit, step by step, choice by choice, do the thing that you need to do to move you towards the goals that you have. He's saying with every breath, with every step, you can have peace, you can have joy, you can have serenity. You only need to be awake and alive in the present moment. When you're alive in the present moment, you're only dealing with and grateful for that moment. You have gratitude in that moment because you realize that you didn't have to be there. Just the mere fact that you're experiencing the moment is something to be grateful for. It means you're alive. It means your brain is functioning. It means your emotions are functioning and they need to be dealt with. They're telling you something when they go awry and things aren't. Pay attention. Why are these emotions sparked up like this? What are they trying to point me to? They're signaling something. And they give you the opportunity to deal with that something. When we deal with our things in the present moment, we don't drag them with us in the future. Imagine how heavy your bag is if you never unpack it. You just keep stuffing more and more and more stuff in. Eventually, you try to zip it up, and the whole zipper comes undone. The zipper's in the middle, and you've got space on each end of it because you've overstuffed it. Our lives are the same way. We've got to unpack that junk. Every day, if you can unpack the junk from today so that you don't take it into tomorrow, your bag won't get overstuffed and you won't blow. You won't blow your zipper. But we forget to do that. That's why I like beginning my day and ending my day with gratitude. What are the three things that I'm grateful for? First thing in the morning. Helps me to adjust my thinking and show up in a decent space right here. At the end of the day, what were the three greatest things that happened to me today? What am I most grateful for? You can frame it however you want to frame it. And again, you're adjusting that thought. And if other things are coming up that didn't work out well, maybe those are conversations that need to be had. So find some gratitude in that space so that you can properly have that conversation and get beyond an argument and to a resolution. I was reading something the other day, and or maybe I even said it. I don't want to battle. I want to be in battle with you, not battle with you. I'd like for us to work together, to fight together towards something instead of turning and fighting each other. I don't want to battle you. I want to go through the battle with you. And if you frame your relationships that way, when you find yourself at odds in a battle with somebody that you're in a relationship with, stop and pull out some gratitude. Why are you in the relationship with this person? And then you can make the necessary adjustments. You can have the right conversations so that every breath you take, every step you make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity because you're awake, because you're alive in the present moment. We had a few comments that have come in, a couple. Let's see. Oh, Sonia, I've missed you, girl. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Conchita, our steadfast friend who's always with us. She says, greetings, everyone, on this thankful Thursday. Blessed to see another amazing day. Amen. Yes, yes, yes. So, Brian, I am going to go ahead and kick it over to you. We'll stop pretty much at 8 today. Today is International Women's Day, and I am actually speaking on a panel at in about an hour and a half, a couple hours from now. And so I need to get settled, get to the location, and all of that, and make sure my brain is clear and free and I show up as the best version of myself in that space. So we'll today will be a short one so that I can go do what I need to do after we end the live. But short does not mean not less content, less thorough. We're still gonna show up and have our conversation, and we'll just wrap it up right about the top of the hour. So with that, Brian, can you hear us? Are you with us? What do you want to share?
Oh, you're coming through loud and clear.
Yay.
Gratitude, gratitude. Thanks for waking up this morning, right? Thanks for having the opportunity to do it again. When you think about gratitude and the lack thereof, you know, the first thing that comes to mind for me is ego. Reason people have such a huge time being thankful, the reason we're always showing up less than grateful is because we're always looking for something other than what we have. We always feel, I heard somebody say it yesterday. Well, I feel like I should have this. Well, why do you feel like you should have that? I feel like I should do this because. But listen, let's be honest, right? The mere fact that you woke up is all that you need in your life. Like that was the greatest blessing you could have received, was waking up today. Right? Everything else is just a plus. All these material trappings and people getting caught up in what they don't have and why their life should be this way. That's all ego. Nobody knows what they're supposed to have. Nobody knows where they're supposed to be. We all know what we would like to have. We all know where we would want to be. But where you are is where you are. You should be thankful for where you are because it could be so much worse. People ask me all the time, "Hey, how do you always manage to stay in such a great mood?" Because I've been in a lot of really bad situations, and I'm not in those situations right now. Could I ever be in those situations again? Possibly, but
I
probably
love
not
that.
because most of those situations were self-inflicted, right? So hopefully I'm smart enough not to get myself in those type of situations. Hopefully. But regardless of the situation I'm in, even if I caused it, I'm thankful. I'm thankful that I'm able to realize I'm in a bad situation. I'm thankful to realize I need to switch this around. The moment you remove ego from the conversation, gratitude becomes the automatic default. Be grateful for everything that you have, the good and the bad. And what you'll find is more of what you want will start coming to you. You don't even have to ask for it. All you got to do is be grateful for where you are and what you have right now. And more of those things that you want will come to you. A lot of the things you didn't even know you wanted or needed will come to you. But you got to start with being grateful for where you are. Remove the ego. Get the ego out the way. Tell your ego to get lost and start being thankful. Start waking up. Hey, thanks for waking me up this morning. Thanks for getting me on my way. There used to be a song, what was the name of it? He
Mhm.
woke me up and he got me started
The
on my way. One of my
the,
favorite
the
songs.
PK and you coming out.
Oh,
Yep.
okay. I'm done. I'm done now. No
The
more
Lord is
PK.
blessing me. That's the
No
Lord is
PK today.
blessing me. That's, that is the Lord is blessing me right now. Oh, right now. He woke me up this morning and
That's
started
it.
me on my way. Hey, the Lord is blessing me right now. We sung that so much in my youth. I absolutely love that song. And that's one of the songs I used to really enjoy singing with the choir.
Me too. Me too.
Yeah, that's a good one. That's a good one. I'm not surprised that you found the song. Um, the other thing about that you were talking about hearing somebody say they should have XYZ at this point in their lives. When you are being paced, is what I call it. Some people call it being stuck. You're in the same situation or repeating the same experiences over and over again. You don't seem to break free and get to that next step. My caution to you is to look inward and to really see what that situation is trying to teach you. There is something that you have not learned. There is something that you need to be able to take with you at that level up that you don't have yet. You're being paced. Something is missing from the equation. And you've got to go in and figure out what that is. If you don't have the money that you need, ask yourself how you're managing the money that you do have. Are you making good decisions? Are you getting frustrated and you are one of those people who has to have the retail therapy? And so I feel bad, so let me go buy this. Look, it's on sale. I bought one in every color because it's on sale. Sales are designed to grab our attention, right? They're designed to take our money away from us. And if you can afford that thing, great that you caught it on sale. If you don't have enough money to manage your month and the thing is not free, you've made a bad decision. But can you be honest about that? Can you have that conversation with yourself? I've got a closet full of clothes with tags still on it, but I can't pay my bills. I've got the matching Louis bag and I've got the shoes and the belt, but the bag is empty because I can't put them. I used all my money to buy it. You don't need more money if you're not managing well the money that you have, because all you're going to do is take those bad habits and expand them, waste more resources. You need to show yourself worthy of the level up. It's one of the things that frustrates people on the job. I've been in this position for 10 years and I haven't gotten my promotion. I want to get promoted. I want to get promoted. Okay, well, the fact that you're doing the job that you're doing well for 10 years means you are where you're supposed to be. You're excelling at what you're doing. But have you looked up to what the people who are in the next level are doing and what they have to manage? And are you doing anything to show that you can handle that? That's when you need to get promoted. You got this thing on lock. You have it on autopilot. You do this job so well, you got a little bit of time to learn how to do some other stuff. You pick up the extra assignments. We see you in leadership. We see you helping the younger people that join the company. There's something about you where we see that we can trust you with more. Can God trust you with more? If God can't trust you with more, maybe it's taking a little bit longer for that prayer that you so fervently pray to be answered. He is waiting for you to do well with what he's already blessed you with. And when he sees that, now he can trust you with more. Just like with your kids. When they first start driving, you in the car hanging on, eyes big, slow down, da da da. You're a nervous wreck. At least I was. And I didn't want my son to go anywhere beyond maybe around the corner when he first started driving. Now, I'm so happy to have a driver. Hey, son, can you go do this? Can you go do that? Because he's shown himself capable in the environment that he was in. He stretched a little bit and all was well. And now he can go wherever he wants to go in my car. I expect that he and the car are going to be back and be fine. If an accident happens, that's life. But I don't think about it the way I thought about an accident when he was a brand new driver 5 years ago. He's proven himself capable of more. And we have to get that honest with ourselves, guys. It is not easy to have those conversations with self, because what we do is we talk ourselves out of those good decisions. It was only a few dollars to get this. I done worked hard all week, so I should be able to enjoy. Should you? Have you set yourself up in a way that you can have that extra stuff? Or are you going to go off and hang out with the friends and spend the money that you don't have and then have a difficult end to your month until that next paycheck comes along? You have to get honest with yourself. Have I set myself up? Have I made the decisions to allow myself to have this enjoyment that I believe that I deserve? Everybody deserves enjoyment, but there's levels to everything. Enjoyment for you may be, I take the day off because I've got some vacation days. I'm going to relax and chill at home, turn the phone off, watch some movies, not do anything stressful. That costs $0.00. But that may be all you have. So what does enjoyment look like for real in your situation that's not going to cause you problems down the road? Those are adult decisions, adult conversations. If I do this thing now, how is it going to affect me in a few days when the rent's due, when the car notes due? Adulting can really be painful. It's not fun all the time. But when you have the right relationship with you and you can get honest with yourself, then you make good decisions. And sometimes you may choose, you know what? I'm just going to do it. You know the decisions that you've made, and now you can adjust accordingly. That means that for the next 10 days until that paycheck comes, this is all I'm going to have. So with that, I have to make different decisions. I got to make that sandwich and take it to work instead of eating out, right? I have to be careful about how far doing any extra running around in the car because gas is not cheap. You have to have those conversations with yourself. And you will be grateful to you for doing so because your life, the stress level will go down. Your life will be more enjoyable if you make the adjustments necessary now to have the life that you want down the road instead of thinking that you deserve it right now when you haven't prepared for it. You haven't prepared for it. Be honest about it. These moves that I made landed me right here. I drove the car right off the cliff and into where I am today. And me and only me making different and better decisions can get me out of this situation and back on the road and towards where I want to go. Mature conversations. Don't know why all that came up, Brian, but that's what you triggered. So, Jay, help me out. Get us back on gratitude because we're in one of my hot buttons. Brian somehow triggered a conversation that I have to have with people all the time. Your decisions got you there. Your decisions will get you out of there. So be mindful of your decisions. Over to you, Jay.
Thank you, Cassandra. Um,
Absolutely.
I think it's a message that needs to be heard. Um, and I'm going to share a message that I think also needs to be heard in line with what you're talking about.
Okay.
That, yeah, and it comes with the first book in the letters to the Corinthians, right? It's
Okay.
chapter 6, verse 19 through 20, and it says, "Or do you not know that your body is a temple of the Holy Spirit within you, whom you have from God? You are not your own, for you were bought with a price. So glorify God in your body." And if we're talking about gratitude, the verse really talks about the virtue of gratitude by prompting us as believers to acknowledge God's presence within them, understand his ownership through Christ's sacrifice, and live lives that glorify him in gratitude for his love and grace. And I think I, I want to ask a question, maybe a couple of questions. Is gratitude a form of love?
Hmm.
Is gratitude a form of love? And I think it is
I do
because
too.
you're thinking about recognition and appreciation, right? In a relationship, if you have recognition and appreciation for your loved one, gratitude involves that, recognizing and appreciating kindness, generosity, positive actions of others towards us.
Mm-hmm.
And when we feel grateful, we acknowledge the love and the care that's given to us or shown through their words, deeds, and their just even their presence. There's a connection. And gratitude really allows us to connect with empathy towards others. So when we show gratitude, we're
Mm-hmm.
acknowledging that our well-being is intertwined with the actions and intentions of those around us. And then that acknowledgement really reflects a real deep understanding and appreciation of that love and support. And gratitude is a response to love, right?
Love that.
You receive love, you show love, right? You are responding by being grateful and thankful for the love that you receive by showing gratitude, by showing love.
Writing that down. That might be our quote for next week, Jay.
If you receive love, you show love. And showing love is showing gratitude. And it really, gratitude strengthens and deepens relationships.
Absolutely.
So, gratitude embodies the essence of love. And I'm going to go one step deeper real quick
Hmm.
before we got to go, but it's going to be about all the biblical figures that we've read about in the Bible who've given and showed love, showed their gratitude in sacrifice.
Mm.
In sacrifice, right? They wanted, many of them, many saints in the Bible wanted to show their love by experiencing the passion of Christ. And we know what the passion of Christ is: his sacrifice, God's ultimate
Hmm.
sacrifice by giving his son for our sins. This this is the ultimate form of gratitude towards God as saints, as people on this earth. We're showing our gratitude, we're showing our love for that sacrifice by sacrificing ourselves, by being in that mood, being in that mode of experiencing that sacrifice. So maybe you are experiencing that time in your life where you feel stuck, where you feel like you're not moving forward, but use that as a show of gratitude, that little bit of adversity as a sacrifice
Mm.
to God. And when you're in that mode of love, gratitude, watch how that sacrifice transforms you. Thank you, Cassandra. I know you got to go. So,
I love it, love it, love it. Don't let me cut you short. You guys are
yeah.
perfectly capable of handling this without me. But I wrote it down. I was not kidding. Gratitude is a response to love. Jay Pasqua. I love that mapping of the two to because sometimes we just forget. And you start thinking about the things that you're grateful for, the enhancements that they've made in your life, the difference that people make in your life. And gratitude is like it's a gift that needs to be given. When you it does deepen relationships. Have you ever been around somebody who's ungrateful? And no matter how much you do for them, you don't seem to be able to satisfy them. It's painful. It's
Mm,
frustrating. It can be hurtful depending on who that individual is in your life. So if the lack of gratitude for something that you've done, I think everybody's experienced it. You know how bad that feels. So don't be guilty of holding on to that gift. Give it freely. And it's more than just saying thank you. It's a way that we show up. It's a way that we interact. But it is giving the word, I appreciate you. Sacrificial love is the love that was the only one that I really could recognize for a long time in my life because I saw that in my grandmother. I saw that in different people who poured into me, but especially my grandmother because I didn't feel like she should have had to raise me. Um, but in hindsight, I mean, of course she did. My parents were so young, she did what she needed to do. But as a kid, you don't see things that way. So sacrifice. So my particular love language is definitely acts of service because that sacrificial love is the first real light bulb that went on for me to say that somebody actually cares. Somebody really loves me. I really matter to her so much that she would take care of me when it wasn't her job, right? And so that type of love I could recognize. I had to learn to recognize other types of love and when it was showing up in different ways, because that was really the only definition that had developed. But people show love in different ways, and figuring that out can really expand your life and your relationships. But gratitude, man, it doesn't cost you anything, nothing at all. It's free. It's free to receive and it's free to give. And it just makes everything better, changes your perspective, deepens your relationships, lightens your load, helps you get through difficult times, and helps you to recognize when you're on those mountaintops. Man, you could be having the best life ever and be so accustomed to the sunshine that you don't see it anymore. How much detail do you see in your neighborhood that you drive through on a regular basis? Probably not much, because it's always around you. And then somebody else may come through and just be absolutely blown away. We do it all the time. Denise in Grenada, they're not thinking about all that water and sand the way she is, because that's what they grew up on. That's what they saw every day. But for her, the beauty, right? It's so poignant when you're seeing something for the first time. And gratitude reminds you of the beauty around you, reminds you of the blessings around you, reminds you of how people have poured into your life. I don't care how independent you are. You're not so independent that you did any of it by yourself. You didn't. We like to think about it. I consider myself pretty independent. But in the grand scheme of things, I have accomplished goose egg, zero, nothing, completely on my own. There has been somebody that was supporting, there has been somebody that was signing off, somebody showed up, somebody filled in over there while I was taking care of something over here. If I'm honest with myself, I have done absolutely nothing on my own. So, man, do I have a lot to be grateful for, and a lot of people to celebrate and to be grateful for. And when you realize that, you show up differently, you treat people differently, you see your relationships differently. And so, gratitude is an amazing tool. It does do all of those things that we've talked about up until this point. So, every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. We need only to be awake, alive in the present moment. And that's from a Buddhist monk, Thich Nhat Hanh. So I
Hey,
think
you know, I got a song, Cassandra. I'm
oh
sorry.
Lord, wrote a song about it. Want to hear it? Here it goes.
You gotta hear it. You gotta hear it. So, you know, you said every step you make, every move you
I
take,
knew it.
right? Let me tell you why you should be thankful.
I'll be
Because
watching.
you've got somebody watching over you every step of every
Come on,
day.
Brian.
You got somebody watching you every step, every move you make. He gonna be watching you. You should be thankful for that. Your thankfulness should be girded in your faith. I'm gonna step down. I'll get
And
started. I'm
not
not gonna
watching
do it
you,
today.
not watching you like I'm observing, but watching over
Mm-mm.
you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
protecting.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
You
I
get
love that.
I
That's
got
good
in my
stuff.
PK moment. I got in my PK moment. I'm gonna step
Oh,
back out.
you can't help it. Everywhere you go, there you are. You can't help it. So I see my cousin Tanya joined us this morning. Thank you for being here, cousin, sister, my love. I see Amber. Amber is, if you're still here, Amber, love you. I have talk about watching. I'm watching you through your mom's eyes, seeing all the wonderful things that you are accomplishing and all the young people that you are impacted. And I am so proud of you, girl. I am so proud of you. I'm actually getting goosebumps just thinking about it. She grew up with my daughter. They played basketball together. They've done life together. They went to college together and they grew up, near each other in our town. But they went to the same college and played basketball, and they've just been together for no, they didn't. I take that back. They did not go to the same college, did they? Did they? Anyway, they played elite basketball together, AAU, and that's one of the baddest, the coldest little point guards. If you like your shoes, don't have her grab you because you don't have her guard you because she goes. You're gonna go one way and your shoes gonna go the other way. She is that quick, and she's an amazing young woman, come from a beautiful family, and she is doing so much to impact young people through her program, and she's coaching, and it's just amazing to see the training and everything that you're doing, Amber. And I haven't talked to you in a while, but I am so very proud of you, and I love to see your mom's post because you can just feel the love and pride coming through everything that she says about her baby girl. So good on you. It's so good to see the life that you're building for yourself. Very proud. And then I see Court 2.0. I'm not sure if that's Courtney that I know, the traveling nurse, or if that's someone else, but thank you for being with us, each and every one of you. It is just a couple of minutes after the hour, so we are going to go ahead and wrap it up. So we'll close with the quote one more time for you guys to take away. And I'll just say, throughout your day, find gratitude, find something to be grateful for, especially when things are starting to get difficult. If you can just remember that in your toolbox at any point in time, you can reach in and you can pull out gratitude, and it is going to calm you. It is going to give you that peace, that joy, that serenity that the quote talks about, so that you can regroup and you can get in a place to where you can have the conversation you need to have. You can make the adjustments that you need to make. You can find the creativity to solve the problem. When you're balanced like that, anything is possible. So use gratitude to help you reset whenever you need it, so that you can accomplish the things that you have purpose for yourself today. So every breath we take, every step we make can be filled with peace, joy, and serenity. We need only to be awake, alive in the present moment. Thich Nhat Hanh. So thank you guys so much for being with us today.
Thank you for joining us today. Make sure you join us every week, Tuesday through Friday.
We will see you back here tomorrow
a.m. Central Time for the Cassandra Terry Morning Show. For advertising or sponsorship questions, reach out to Cassandra or any member of the Fan Collective on their LinkedIn profiles. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much for being with us.